David Glawe, President and Chief Executive Officer of the National Insurance Crime Bureau, is joining us to discuss how to avoid home repair fraud after a natural disaster and to share other valuable information. Why is contractor fraud becoming more prevalent, and who is committing these acts?
As you opened your report, we've had $93 billion in losses last year. We're having more catastrophic events. And if you think about criminal enterprises, they're driven by money. And when you have $93 billion flowing into areas that have been hit by natural disasters, there's a lot of victims out there. And we estimate over 10% of that money, or approximately $10 billion last year, was targeted by contractors or fraudulent contractors. It's about the money, and it's about the money flowing into these areas when people are at their most vulnerable and are quick to hire contractors, and they're in that vulnerable state of mind.
And what is NICB doing to help stop contractor fraud from occurring?
So the National Insurance Crime Bureau, we've been around for over 100 years. We have agents and analysts that are embedded with Florida state law enforcement. We also partner with Governor DeSantis and CFO Jimmy Patronis, recognizing Contractor Fraud Awareness Week. They've signed proclamations in 2023 and 2024.
And what steps should homeowners take prior to a natural disaster, and how can preparation help reduce chances of becoming a victim of fraud?
Well, as we all know, we've been in an inflationary environment for the last 4 years. So you need to make sure that your policy is up to date. Your home is worth more, your property is worth more, your car is worth more to replace. We all know that. If you haven't checked your policy in a few years, you probably have fallen behind. So contact your insurance carrier now, because you're not covered after the fact, to make sure your policy has replacement cost, replacement value. So if you have a loss, or you do have a loss and you have an insurance claim, you are compensated at the value of your property today, not from 4 years ago. So contact your insurance carrier, and also make sure your insurance policy is stored in a dry place or in a fire safe, or if it's stored electronically with your insurance carrier. But make sure those policy documents are accessible to you after an event.
Absolutely. And what are some signs that disaster victims should be on the lookout for that may indicate a dishonest contractor, and what steps can people take to avoid being scammed?
The first thing that I'm going to say is counterintuitive. It's slow down. Take a pause. Working too quickly, making too quick a decisions with those claims payments you get from your insurance can really hurt you. You want to work with your insurance carrier and get 3 bids. Work with your carriers to get the vetted list of contractors. Avoid people that knock on your door, call you on the phone, or send you an email. You want to go through a slow, methodical process of vetting the contractors with your insurance carrier. If your spidey sense is tingling and you're suspicious, stop and walk away. Start over with your insurance carrier to vet those contractors out.
Now, what resources are available to help homeowners and other disaster victims avoid potential fraudulent actors and report fraud when they encounter it?
So you can go to our website at nicb.org, and we have the Contractor Fraud Awareness Week toolkit that talks about the crime prevention and the signs of contractor fraud. We will take your criminal complaint also on that website and pass to law enforcement for the investigation. So we can be your one-stop area to get your fraud complaint filed with law enforcement, as well as the crime prevention techniques.
Excellent. Well, thank you for joining us on ISF and providing all these valuable tips and information to help avoid fraudulent acts.